In a world scarred by World War II's horrors, a secret group arose from the shadows. They weren't from any movie or comic. They were real. Meet the Jewish Avengers, survivors turned hunters, on a relentless quest for justice. Dive into their covert world and uncover the story of vengeance, courage, and a pursuit that history almost forgot. Chapter 1. Echoes from the Past. Europe, post-World War II. The continent lay shattered, its cities ruined, its people broken. But amidst the rubble, a haunting memory lingered. The gas chambers, the death marches, the silent screams of millions. Enter the scene of war-torn streets, where children once played, now echoing the trudge of Nazi boots. Here, the Holocaust had claimed 6 million Jewish souls, a genocide that horrified the world. But as the smoke of battle faded and leaders shook hands, many monsters slipped away, escaping the reckoning they deserved. In the heart of this chaos, a fire was ignited among some survivors. They remembered faces, promises, and those final goodbyes. They held on to names, whispered in desperation or shouted in defiance. From this furnace of memories and resolve, a clandestine group emerged. Their goal? Retribution for the lost. Their name? They didn't need one. The world would soon hear their deeds. They were the shadows waiting in the dark, the whisper of justice that the escaped Nazis began to fear. The hunt was about to begin. Chapter 2. Rise of the Avengers. A covert meeting in a dimly lit room. Faces, marked by war's ravages, determined eyes seeking justice. They were Holocaust survivors, but their new identities were of hunters, of Avengers. Leah, once a teacher, now a strategist. David, a butcher's son turned expert tracker. Each carried a story, a void, a lost loved one. Their shared pain bound them, transforming their grief into purpose. They pooled together their resources, notes, names, last seen locations. Their hit list was formed, a catalog of the vilest war criminals still breathing. Nazis who had eluded the law, now marked for retribution. The world believed the war was over, but for these Avengers, a new mission had just begun. A secret pledge was made. They wouldn't rest until every Nazi on their list had faced justice. Silently, they dispersed, blending into the crowds, becoming shadows in daylight. But when night fell, their true work began. The Avengers were on the move, and for the Nazis in hiding, time was running out. Chapter 3. Into the Shadows. The sun set, casting Europe into a shroud of darkness. But in the night, the Avengers thrived. They adopted new names, wore masks of normality by day. But when the world slept, their real mission ignited. In hidden rooms, maps sprawled out, dotted with pins, marked territories, and scribbled notes. Whispers of informants met with coded messages. Each piece of intelligence was gold. Each clue brought them closer to their prey. Sarah, a former nurse, now excelled in disguises, mastering the art of becoming anyone. Jacob, once a musician, had an ear for eavesdropping, picking up secrets like melodies. Every alleyway was a potential trap, every crowded cafe a stakeout. They operated in a world of shadows and secrets, a dangerous dance of cat and mouse. The Nazis thought they'd vanished, melted into the world's vastness. But they were wrong. Every step they took, every breath they drew, the Avengers were watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The game of hide and seek had deadly stakes, and the hunters were closing in. Chapter 4. Confrontations. The clock ticked ominously. In a quiet pub in Berlin, a Nazi fugitive sipped his beer, glancing around nervously. Little did he know, a waiter, an Avenger in disguise, was watching him closely. Each confrontation was a pulsing mix of tension and determination. In the dark alleys of Prague, an ex-Nazi found himself cornered, an Avenger's shadow falling over him. In the bustling markets of Madrid, a whispered threat made another war criminal's blood run cold. Ava, whose family was lost in Auschwitz, found her target in a Paris opera house. With swift precision, she cornered him, ensuring he faced the justice he had long evaded. These confrontations weren't just moments of revenge. They were moments of reckoning. Every Nazi cornered was forced to face the pain they inflicted, the lives they shattered. Each Avenger had their method, their unique style, but their message was the same. You can't hide from the past, and justice will always find its way. The net was tightening, and the fugitives were running out of places to hide. Chapter 5. The Moral Labyrinth. But as the Avengers struck, A debate echoed louder in society's corners. Was vengeance justice? Were the Avengers heroes or vigilantes? In smoky cafes and bustling squares, people whispered. Some hailed the Avengers as champions of justice, righting history's wrongs. Others questioned the morality of their mission. Who are they to judge? They asked. A university professor, brows furrowed, pondered. Is it right to meet hatred with hatred? Meanwhile, a Holocaust survivor said, justice delayed is justice denied. They do what others won't. As the world grappled with these questions, the Avengers faced their internal battles. Leah once hesitated, wondering if their mission was truly righteous. Jacob sometimes dreamt of a peaceful life, away from the hunt, but they pressed on, driven by memories, faces of loved ones, and echoing cries of the past. The moral maze was intricate, the path not always clear. But for the Avengers, their North Star was clear. Deliver justice, no matter the cost. Chapter 6. Legacies and Memories. Years rolled on. The original Avengers aged, their faces etched with tales of a dark bygone era. But their legacy? It lived on, whispered from parent to child, penned in secret diaries. Rachel, a young journalist, discovered her grandmother's involvement with the Avengers. Unraveling a mystery from an old photo, she was awed by the resilience and tenacity she found. She wasn't just a baker, Rachel realized. She was a hero. As descendants uncovered these hidden stories, they grappled with mixed emotions. Pride for their kin's bravery, sorrow for the wounds that never healed. Across the globe, memorials stood tall, etched with names and dates. They were reminders of the past's atrocities and tributes to the Avengers' fearless pursuit of justice. In classrooms and around dinner tables, the tales of the Avengers continued. Some saw them as symbols of unyielding justice, while others pondered the price they paid. Yet in all these stories, one message rang clear: the importance of remembering, so history's errors would never be repeated. Chapter 7. In the Annals of History. Time has a way of reshaping stories. The Avengers, once whispers in the night, now stood bold in history's pages. Scholars studied them, filmmakers sought their tales, and children read about them with wide eyes. At a modern Holocaust museum, a guide recounted the Avengers saga to a group of students. They listened, rapt, as the line between past and present blurred, feeling the weight of history on their young shoulders. Monuments, erected in honor of the Avengers, bore silent testimony. They weren't just stones or sculptures. They were echoes of defiance, symbols of resilience. As debates continued, society questioned, analyzed, and discussed the Avengers' legacy. Were they right? Were they wrong? Perhaps the truth lay somewhere in between. But beyond all judgments, one fact remained unchallenged. The Avengers embodied a fierce spirit, an unyielding desire for justice. Their tale was a testament to the power of memory and the lengths one would go to honor the past. In the annals of history, their story served as a poignant reminder: never forget. As the sun sets on our journey through history, remember the Avengers. Survivors turned heroes, shadows turned legends. Their tale isn't just of vengeance, but of undying memory and justice. If this story moved you, share it. Let's ensure history's lessons are never forgotten. Subscribe for more tales from the annals of the past. Until next time.